The 7th task, the Mad Titan, is the spark for the latest group boss, Thanos, and he's vastly different from previous group bosses. Each class has much more subtle differences, with only one showing a unique buff and a couple summoning a lieutenant of the Black Order to aid him. So, we'll go over the class differences here shortly. Let's go ahead and start with how to start this task. You're going to want to face him on your own map, which will cost 10 UISO, and you can start him on the Spec Op Mission 1 map. Be sure to send the notices to your 10 friends to help them out, and then start the battle. Thanos isn't too hard, so long as you have an idea of his class weaknesses and the strategy to go with. And I would say go ahead and use the strongest that you have, and experiment with other ideas to see how much damage you can take them down with. As far as how Thanos operates, well, regardless of class, he's going to use in the first round a move called Black Hole. This is an attack that damages everyone, and I mean everyone, both sides of the field. However, it works like Scroll of Antelope as well. It's going to remove the debuffs on the user's side of the field, but on your side of the field, all your buffs are gone. If your team is heavily set on a setup type style of strategy, this might screw you up on the first round, so be wary and plan accordingly. As mentioned earlier, each class has a slightly altered gimmick. For instance, the Infiltrator is the only class that shows a reactive buff called Titanic Intimidation, which will proc against any hero that attacks him directly with melee attacks. This intimidation works similarly to Intimidated, as it will lower the hero's attack, accuracy, and evasion stats. And be cautious, it will stack. Constantly attacking him will continue to weaken your hero more and more, so take care not to attack him too often or use more ranged attacks and ranged heroes. The two classes that summon the lieutenants are his Scrapper and Tactician classes. The Scrapper class will be the one that will summon Proxima Midnight, the boss of Spec Op Mission 1, a blaster, to aid him. It is also the only class that will attack twice in one round. His Tactician class is also similar, as he will call out for Corvus Glaive, a Scrapper, the Mission 2 boss, to fight by his side. But he will not have the extra turns that the Scrapper class will have, only attacking once per round unless attacked by a blaster. These boss calls are tailored to counter the class weakness that Thanos has, so be sure to plan to repel these lieutenants, but also to use the lieutenants against them. And trust me, if you think about it, there are ways to use the lieutenants against Thanos. Finally, his Blaster and Bruiser classes remain largely similar. They don't have any reactive buffs or special buffs to them, and their movesets are vaguely similar. So it seems as though they will face you with just increased power and direct attacks. They won't call upon any help. They don't have any buffs or debuffs, save for what he starts with. But plan accordingly. I myself haven't seen anything out of the blue. You might. Finally, an important note. When you set up a new fight for Thanos on your map, always spend 10 ISO and take him down a notch, the first 5%. If you don't, you run the risk of losing your lockbox prize when your friends defeat him afterward. This is going to set you back 3 days to face the group boss again, but also it's going to really mess you up when you try for those 10 extra lockboxes to get Thane. Once Thanos is taken on your map, the task will be completed and you'll gain a CP. Be sure to refresh your game afterward to see if your friends have any group bosses for you to face. Not only is gathering the Guardian Shards going to help you towards a future task, dealing the killing blow will give you a chance to earn more lockboxes, normally 1, 3, or 5, which will definitely help in getting Thane quickly.